Hmm. The deafening roar of the spirit echoed through the flat as the darkness swallowed Chidi and Ada completely. For a second, the world went completely silent. When Chidi finally opened her eyes, coughing through thick dust, the painful pressure in her chest eased. The bedroom door was no longer locked. In fact, it had been violently blasted off its hinges. Ada, Ada, wake up, Chidi called, shaking her little sister. Ada sat up, shivering in fear, her eyes wide with shock. The cracked baby rattle lay on the bed beside her, the dried blood inside it, now glowing with a faint sickly green light. Hmm. Holding hands, the two sisters crept out into the living room. The apartment was a disaster zone. The dining table was flipped, and the walls were covered in deep scratch marks. In the center of the room, their parents were huddled on the floor. Mr. Obi was holding his side in pain from being thrown against the wall, while Mrs. Obi was weeping, praying under her breath. Papa, Mama, Ada cried, running into her mother's arms. Thank God you are alive, Mrs. Obi, Happy clutching her daughters tightly. We have to leave now. We cannot stay in this place for another minute. Mr. Obi struggled to his feet, grabbing the key to their car. The family rushed to the front door of the flat. Mr. Obi shoved the key into the lock and turned it. It clicked open. Mr. Obi stepped out, but guess what? They didn't see the apartment hallway. Instead, opening the front door revealed the exact same living room they were standing in. They stared in horror at the exact same flipped dining table and scratch-marked walls. Mr. Obi slammed the door shut and tried the balcony window. When he looked out, the bustling streets of Lagos were completely gone, replaced by a void of thick, swirling black fog. The spirit had warped the house. There was no outside world anymore. They were entirely covered in its territory. Realizing they were trapped, Chidi looked back at the glowing cracked rattle Ada had dropped in the hallway. Papa! This started because of the box we found. There was something inside the toy. Mr. Obi, clutching his bruised ribs, walked over and picked up the small rolled up piece of paper that had fallen out of the rattle. With trembling hands, he held it up to his face. Written in dark, faded ink were names, and at the very bottom, a curse written in an old dialect. Mr. Obi's eyes widened in shock as he recognized the horror. This house, he said in a trembling voice, is not an ordinary house. Mr. Obi whispered, his voice cracking with dread. The man who lived here decades ago made a blood pact to keep this land forever. Anyone who enters is seen as a thief. By keeping this toy, Ada unknowingly accepted the pact's presence. The spirit isn't just trying to scare us. It's preparing a ritual to take a life as payment for the territory. Suddenly, the temperature in the room dropped to absolute freezing. This is where the nightmare begins. Click, clack, click, clack. The heavy adult footsteps echoed from inside the walls this time. The glowing green light from the rattle suddenly shot upward, wrapping around Ada's ankles like chains of smoke. Ada screamed as she was violently dragged across the floor by the invisible force, pulling her away from her family towards the dark kitchen. Papa, Chidi, help me! Ada shrieked, her fingers clawing fruitlessly at the tiles. Mr. Obi and Chidi lunged forward, grabbing Ada's hands, just as she was about to be dragged into the pitch-black kitchen. They pulled with all their might, passing through intense physical pain as a spirit's icy grip burned Ada's skin. With a final desperate heave, they broke the spirit hold, pulling Ada back, but the victory was short-lived. The kitchen door violently slammed shut, and from behind it, a terrifying shadow spirit began to seep through the cracks of the wood, stretching across the ceiling right above their heads. The glowing eyes focused entirely on Ada. A booming, angry voice echoed through the floorboards. The debt must be paid in blood. Hmm, Ada, being targeted for a blood debt, leaves her life hanging in the bridge of life and death. Will the spirit succeed in taking Ada? Will the whole family die? Stay active for part 4, where the nightmare gets intense